Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for your second video of today. If you want to go and watch the other one, I'll leave a link in the description, or it's either going to be here or here. I never remember because of the inversion of the cameras, but there's a card on the screen if you want to go and give it a watch. Chelsea versus Aston Villa. And I've got that smile on my face again, guys. That one where it's like, if I don't laugh, I'll cry. Because we've got more injuries, ladies and gentlemen. The curse of Chelsea's medical department, the curse of Cobham, the witchcraft, whatever it is that has left us perplexed on too many occasions as to how it's actually physically possible to have an 11 that is out injured, that is always better than the 11 that we've got available. It's actually insane. I saw a tweet, and I'm going to put the picture that I saw up on the screen now, of the injured 11 that Chelsea have. It's genuinely a full side that looks really good on paper. If I could, I'd have picked this exact team to play against Aston Villa tomorrow. It's mental. We have got new injuries for Chukwumeka, new injuries for Ben Chilwell, Raheem Sterling, Malo Gusto, Reece James and Levi Colwill in Kunku. There's images of them in partial training, but they are not available for selection. But a minute and 24 seconds into this video, I have got some absolutely brilliant news for you, which is more than worth smacking a like on this video and subscribing if you're not already. Cole Palmer, ladies and gentlemen, is back. He is fit and he's healthy, so even if Chelsea concede 5 tomorrow, we might at least score 2 or 3, because the chances are Cole Palmer gets a chance. I think he converts the chance. I think he would have been absolutely ruined the fact that he couldn't have done anything about Chelsea's humiliation at Arsenal. And basically, the more Palmer plays, the higher his stocks seem to rise at the moment. He cannot do anything wrong, can't put a foot wrong. He's been magnificent, and he is back available for Chelsea tomorrow. Now, Mauricio Pochettino's press conference was an interesting one. I would say from like a body language, psychological perspective, when he comes in, he's pretty downbeat, as you would expect to be after such a difficult week. The wider media, outside of the journalists that are invited to these press conferences, if he's even looked at his phone once, he's not going to be seeing good things. People are not saying great things right now about Mauricio Pochettino, and I believe it's all justified. As the press conference goes on, there are obviously questions asked about how there can be certain performances against Everton, even Man City in the FA Cup, and then how can it just like capitulate the way that it did against Arsenal? And he's talking about how it's his role to motivate everyone, but like to be playing for Chelsea should be motivation enough and all of this stuff. And I'm like, I don't really feel as though at any point Pochettino takes any kind of responsibility for this. And I also don't understand how the questions aren't being asked in press conferences about, like, what does a defender need to do consistently to get picked? Like, is there any plan and strategy behind team selections whatsoever? Yes, when you've obviously got that entire 11 that aren't even available for selection, yes, it becomes difficult. But in the case of the defence last weekend, and then going into the one against Arsenal in that match on Tuesday night, there's no excuses to not have Chalobah and Silva, who'd actually been playing really well together in that defensive partnership. The Sassy and Badiashile were disaster and bad, basically. That's all that we need to say about those two. Going into this game against Aston Villa, they've got a 6-point lead over Spurs in the Champions League position run-in because of how English clubs have done in Europe this season. Only 4th place, I believe, will be achieving Champions League. So for Aston Villa, this game is absolutely massive. Yes, Chelsea have also got to play Spurs next week at Stamford Bridge. So Chelsea could do Villa a favour, but Aston Villa are going to need to win all their home games, and they're going to absolutely be desperate to get in the Champions League. So with all of these injuries, there is the Cole Palmer being back effect that I'm hoping is going to rejuvenate the rest of his teammates and hopefully the fans and all of us watching on televisions wherever we may be in the world. But I genuinely think this could be such a long night for Chelsea. So many injuries, new injuries, and this Chelsea 11 that I'm about to build for you right now, we've not seen this 11 before. I have never selected this 11 before in a Premier League game, and quite frankly, We are so stuck at the moment for quality and available players that I just look at this team and I'm not sure it's going to be able to beat Aston Villa, who have been electric at Villa Park this season. So, without any further ado, let's not waste any more time. Petrovic is the Chelsea goalkeeper. At this point, I think Sanchez is injured again, or he's under medical assessment, rehabilitate, I don't know. But Petrovic is the goalkeeper. We move into a Chelsea back four. Alfie Gilchrist didn't have his best game against Leandro Trossard. Arsenal were obviously not amazing, even though they won 5-0, but it was just a game where everyone was struggling so much for Chelsea to keep up. The Gilchrist struggled, but I think he will play again, and I want to see him play again. Gusto's obviously out, Reece James is out, and I don't want to see Disasi in the starting 11. So Gilchrist at right back with Chalobah and Silva as the centre-back pairing, with Marc Cucurella as the left-back. Look, if this isn't the back four, then like Pochettino is genuinely watching different players in training to what we see in the match days. Because I don't know, like, I don't care how bad you think Poch is. I don't care how good you think Pochettino is. To genuinely believe that Badiashile and Axel Disasi right now are playing anywhere near good enough to be in the Chelsea starting 11, you have got to be off your bloody rocker, mate. I'm going to take a little sip of hot chocolate that my girlfriend made me. It's delightful. It's absolutely delightful. This Chelsea back four, I believe it should be good enough. And hopefully, Pochettino can see the disaster class that was the centre-back pairing against Arsenal on Tuesday night. We move into a midfield pivot that, of course, will not have Enzo Fernandez. If you didn't see today's earlier video, which again, I can recommend you to watch, Enzo underwent surgery for his hernia issue. It was a successful surgery, which is great, but he won't play for Chelsea again during this season. So, this is a question mark here over Cassidy. Could Cassidy play a bit deeper and then we see Gallagher go forward? But I'm going to make the call here and say Gallagher and Caicedo have played in that pivot together before. Chelsea could be under a lot of pressure here from Aston Villa. And I would love to see Cesare Cassidy, who is on loan at Leicester. He's not really had much of a sniff, but I actually thought he looked quite good when he came on against Arsenal. I think he can hold up the ball. He's getting bigger and stronger. And I definitely think Cassidy arriving into the box. Just hold that thought right now before we get into my score predictions and stuff. Cassidy arriving into the box. That is what I want to see tomorrow. With Kane Chukwumeka injured, he's a bloke that I've wanted to see start for Chelsea ever since he was recovered from his last flipping injury. But if Khan's is unavailable, Palmer is back. I am taking Noni Madueke out my starting 11. I cannot justify sitting here on my channel and putting him in the starting 11. So for that reason, Palmer's back on the right, Cassidy in the 10, Mudryk on the left, and Nicholas Jackson up top. Look, I've said a lot of stuff about a lot of these players this week, about a lack of quality. I think Conor Gallagher in the press conference after the Arsenal game is coming out being like, look, we are trying. The boys are trying, and it's hurting that we're getting these results. I don't for one second think that the players don't fully care. I know I've said they don't care, but I mean more like minute by minute within the match, they just give up, which to me means during the match they care. And I'm sure after these games, there is an element of embarrassment, even though there are obviously a lot of them on their phones straight away on social media, reading what people are saying about them. There's got to be a point where it's like, as professional footballers at Chelsea Football Club, which is what Pochettino was saying in his presser, there's got to be a point where you don't need to be motivated by someone. You've just got to be motivated by the fact that you've actually let yourselves down on too often of an occasion. So I can sit here all day telling you that I don't want Pochettino as the Chelsea manager. I can tell you all day long that the ownership have got everything wrong, but when it comes to kicking a ball around, it's 11 versus 11 tomorrow night at Villa Park. That's how it starts, at least, as long as we don't get someone bloody sent off. Maybe they do, who knows? But we have got to go there and look at what we've still got to play for. As much as it might seem like a pipe bloody dream right now, Chelsea can still get a Europa League place. And the only way that we can do that is by picking ourselves up off the literally the bottom of the barrel, which is where we're scraping at right now after that Arsenal result, and get something out of this game. Realistically, with all of the injuries that we've got and the fact that I don't really back this team to be able to change something when we're that low on confidence. I don't see the mentality there. But with Cole Palmer in the side, who bloody knows what's going to happen? I'm going to be realistic, though, with my score prediction, guys. Aston Villa have got so much to play for. They've been such a great side this season. Ollie Watkins also in great form. I think Villa are going to smack us up. I think they're going to beat us 3-1. I think Palmer will score. But, yeah, after the game, for me, it's about the attitude. I want to see the players really giving it a go. If we concede the first goal, which is the more probable outcome, don't let your heads drop. At half-time, if we're losing 1-0 and we concede any more than double that in the second half, look, I'm going to be literally throwing remotes at the camera lens. I'm going to be flying back to England myself and knocking on the door of whoever I can, getting change at this football club. We cannot see in this game Chelsea come out in the second half, no matter what the first half score is, winning, drawing, 2-0, 3-0 down. If it gets worse in the second, I don't think I can literally hack it anymore. I genuinely think I'm at a loose end when it comes to seeing the responses, especially in second half. So, let me know your Chelsea 11. What do you think of mine? Cassidy in the 10 arriving in the box. I don't think he'll score, but I think he might show us that he could be useful between now and the end of the season. And also make sure you check out the other videos on this channel. There's been loads of videos this week. We did a reacting to Mark Goldbridge video. Football is finished. It was a great video that he made. Check that out also. On the channel, it's still picking up a load of views, which is great from the wider footballing sphere of YouTube. And yeah, if you've been enjoying the content, make sure you do subscribe, hit the like button if you enjoyed yourself in this one. And I'll see you tomorrow after the game for 6 things we learnt. I'm dreading it, to be fair. I really am, but I'll see you guys there.